R32 GTR. I picked it up a couple years ago from a guy selling it for a pretty good deal. You know, excuse the mess. I mean, it's been in storage. It's pretty dirty looking now. But yeah, this is it. This is a, you know, it's a pretty car. I mean, when I bought it, it only had it was rear wheel drive, just because the front wheels, they had a check engine light. It was I forget the name of the part, but it was missing basically the gravity sensor is what I want to say. It was something to that effect. And as soon as I got that replaced, you know, all-wheel drive is back up and going again. But yeah, let's take a look at it. The inside, it's a stock interior, nothing really too crazy going on with it. I mean, stock seats. It's got an aftermarket CD player, but everything else, all the gauges work. Yeah, let me pop the hood. See what everybody wants to see. Nothing really spectacular about it. It's stock form. I mean, we got just, you know, it's an RB26, twin turbo still. I mean, everything is pretty much, I would say, more or less stock. I mean, it's just a good example of just a stock GTR. Yeah, when I bought it, it came with a little aftermarket side marker lights, or it also came with these forged XXRs that are, I don't even know. They're crazy, and it's got the stretch tires. So I had different ones put on it, but to put it in storage, I threw them back on these. Actually, these are what I had on them. I had these equips that probably put back on. One of them had a flat tire, so it was just easier to swap the whole set and just throw it in storage. But yeah, there's no rust. There's only one thing just from riding kind of low that happened. Just a little chip right there that I'm not super pleased with, but we'll get that sorted. And then, when I bought it, this was also a little kind of side skirt spat looking thing. It's just kind of separated, so it just needs fixed. But other than that, I mean, I don't really intend on racing it. I don't really intend on doing anything too crazy with it. I really just wanted a GTR. Just, I think they're really cool cars. It's a really cool piece of history, and it's a really fun car to drive. Everything still is, you know, really easy. There's nothing about this car that's hard. Like some cars, you know, just, you know, they're fast, they're great, but it almost seems like a challenge trying to get it to do what you want it to do. With this, I mean, you guys know already, I'm a huge 240 fan, and I mean, this isn't a lot different than driving a 240. I mean, it's like kind of how like an S2000 is a really nice Miata. gravity sensor, and that was it. All-wheel drives back, and works great. This thing still has the factory rear wheel steering. It's pretty cool. I mean, if you've never done it, it's neat. You just kind of turn a little bit sharper than you think you would. Your back end kind of comes around. But I could see why people take it off, because sometimes when I thought it would work, it didn't. Probably intend on keeping it more or less stock. Might be just a few upgrades just to kind of liven it up or something like that. But I mean, outside of that, this is pretty much how it's gonna stay. Just a fun. This is probably the most dailyable out of all the cars I have. Maybe, I mean, the NSX could be debated, but I don't know, this one's pretty dailyable. And especially where the weather is the way it is here. I'm excited to see what it does in the winter. I'll pull it out. So there'll be some videos in the winter of it, seeing what it can do. Or what it can't do, we'll see. Yeah, if you guys have any ideas, anything that you care to see done with this, or maybe have ideas that I haven't thought of, or maybe maybe it's not good to keep it stock. Maybe it's better to, there's a couple upgrades to make it more reliable, a little bit better. Either way, hit me up, let me know. Other than that, that's all we're gonna do for today. If you guys liked it, there'll be more cars to follow. Yeah, I'll have the NSX up, I'll have the FD. Let's see. I think that's it for today. See you next time.